Okay, I'm going to explain why this is true right here, okay? This is related rates, basic, intro number 1. All right, there's going to be 2 videos on this. This is the first. All I want to do in this video is explain why this is true, okay? If y is a function of t, then the derivative of y squared with respect to t is 2y times dy dt. Okay. All right, so if y is a function of t, then y equals f of t, right? So y squared is equal to f of t squared. Okay, so then taking d dt of both sides, or the derivative with respect to t of both sides, we have d dt of this mess over here. Okay, so here we're going to use the chain rule. We have f of t squared. This is 2 times f of t times the derivative of f of t, which is f prime of t. All right, now f of t is y, so this is 2 times y times a different way of saying f prime of t, right? So taking a prime here, that's y prime, right? We're taking, so if, so here y equals f of t, you can write this the other way, f of t equals y, so f prime of t is y prime. Now y prime with respect to t is dy dt, so dy dt. So the upshot here is that this is all notation. It is all notation. And if we had to write things like f of t squared like this, we'd have a mess on our hands, okay? So we try and alleviate the mess by just saying that y is a function of t, all right? So long story short, what does this mean to you? Okay, here's the reason why this works, okay? And you can watch this again if many times over and ask me questions on it to understand why this is. But long story short, if y is a function of t, okay, when you take d dt of y squared, notice that this is the derivative with respect to t. Is that a t? No, it's a y. Okay, so d dt of y squared, right, you take the derivative like normal, 2y, and then you ask yourself, is that y the same as that variable? No. No, it's not. So then you got to tack on the dy dt. If it was the same, so d dt of t squared, you'd have 2t. Now notice if you did dt over dt, dt over dt, this goes away and you just have 2t. So when you take the derivative of t squared and you get 2t, you really are doing this. But you don't need to tack on the dt over dt. That's just 1. So, okay. So now let's do a few more just for a little practice. Let's say we have 3x to the fifth. Okay, this is going to be 15x to the fourth. Now you ask yourself, is that a t? Are those different? If they're different, you got to tack on the d, dx dt. And really, this is just the chain rule. This is just the chain rule.